Welcome to the show, all of you. I'm going to go to you first, Brandon. Another disappointing result tonight, my friend.
Yeah, another one, Tel. Welcome to Phase 5, boys. Are you all enjoying yourselves?
Absolutely.
Fun? Yeah, all having fun? 8 out of 10 window that we had in the summer, having fun? Yeah. This is what I can't believe it, Tel. Phase 5, bro. And okay, look, listen. We went to the San Siro. They're a very, very good side, Inter Milan. Let me just get that in before people think that I'm disrespecting Inter Milan. But that was an Inter Milan side that not only made not one change, not two changes, but 5 fucking changes to their starting 11 tonight. Yeah, we rolled up there, and Simeone and Inzaghi turned around and went, it's only Arsenal. Don't worry, they're toothless, absolutely toothless. We don't, we get one goal, we can just defend, And the way we turned up in that game as well was pathetic. First 5 minutes was pathetic. You would have thought that this Arsenal side that have lost their previous 3 games would want to turn up in the San Siro tonight with a point to prove. Everybody's talking about our creativity. Everybody's talking about the fact that we are literally Saka or bust. Well, we proved it again tonight. We are Saka or bust. And Saka didn't have a particularly good game tonight, which is why we was absolutely toothless. Because nobody else can do it. Nobody else can do it. So that first opening 5 minutes, right? The fact that, there was carving us open and probably should have scored twice. Just red flag straight away. The whole first half was poor. And then people will sit there now and say, oh, yeah, but the second half we controlled possession. Yeah, guess what? Inter Milan allowed us to have possession because they knew we weren't doing nothing. Yeah, nothing. Everybody could talk about the possession and, we put the pressure on. How many clear-cut chances did we create? How many saves did we force the goalkeeper to make? None. None. Not one. It's pathetic. It really is. It really is pathetic. And do you know what? Again, manager has to take the blame. I'm sorry, boys, but he does. Because unfortunately, Mikel Marino, since he's brought him into this starting 11, it has killed the balance in the midfield. We have no balance. Yeah? I'm sorry to tell everybody, but the guy is shit. He's a lamppost. I thought Granit Xhaka had the turning circle of a ship. This guy's even worse. Even worse. He's slow, lethargic. He doesn't actually really do anything particularly fantastic. He's not a great tackler. He's not a great passer of the ball. He doesn't, make cut through passes. He's not particularly great at anything. He's just, I don't know. He's just decent technically on the ball, I suppose. He can retain the possession and that's about it. And he's a big physical guy. But apart from that, when you look for somebody to create, it only really started to happen in the second half because we took him off and we brought on Jesus. And again, he was terrible as well. But you did see a little bit of a difference in terms of Arsenal actually keeping hold of the ball. And then it only really started to happen when we brought on the 17-year-old kid. Now, I never wanted to go into this season relying on a 17-year-old kid. And it is unfortunate that Martin Odegaard got an injury, but that's what we left ourselves with. But let's be real now, right? Every time this kid's come on the pitch, he's done something. There is something to talk about. The lack of minutes that this guy has received under the manager since Odegaard has been out has been nothing short of a fucking disgrace. A disgrace. Yeah? Arteta wants to play this haram football. He wants to play this, terrorist football. And it's getting us absolutely nowhere because we don't have any killers, which is the same thing that we all spoke about at the end of last season. Arsenal needed a clinical forward in this team. We didn't get one. So now we're seeing a lack of creativity, but we're also seeing a lack of clinical edge in front of goal. And if our defenders are having poor games, which they have done most of the season, let's be honest, we've conceded a lot more goals at this point of the season than what we did last season, then ultimately we're in trouble. And I'm sorry to tell everybody, but in terms of Premier League, we're in a top 4 race this season. In terms of the Champions League, right now, with the way that Arsenal are playing, I believe we probably will end up making it to the last 16, but we're going to have to play in the playoffs, which means an extra 2 games, and we've only got a 22-man squad anyway, and we're already finding the fixture pile up difficult. So ultimately, we're left with, can we win the League Cup or can we win the FA Cup? Is that good enough after 5 years in the job and £800 million spent? Because I don't think it is. I genuinely don't think it is. And I don't see, Tel, I know you said you didn't want people to come on here, be angry and not explain, can we turn it around? Can we not turn it around? I still think, even with Odegaard coming back, yes, you'll see a slight improvement in the way that Arsenal, maybe move the ball around. But in terms of creativity, right, Odegaard hasn't created a big chance for Arsenal since, I think it was April last year. Yeah. So in terms of creativity, he doesn't really bring creativity. He's not Kevin De Bruyne, who's going to come up with loads of assists and that. He might help us move the ball better, and he might elevate players around him. But right now, I don't believe it's down to the players necessarily. I think it's the manager and the way that we're setting up, and the way that, and the players that he's playing in that midfield in particular. Thomas Partey, Declan Rice and Marino does not work together. I know Declan Rice wasn't there tonight, but Marino and Partey, it's just too negative, bro. It really is too negative.
Listen, I hear you. By the way, I didn't say that people shouldn't come on and just rant. It was like, if someone says we're like Arsenal crap, I just want to know why. You've told us why you think you're crap. I get it. Like, I just wanted, like, I don't just want the what, I want the why and the how. Giuseppe, you look fuming.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. It was, you know what? It's just toothless, man. This team right now is just toothless, man. Like, just on the penalty, it is a penalty due to the rules. The rules are stupid. I don't know why that's a rule. That should never be a penalty, but it is what it is. We had enough time after that to get something out of the game. The penalty on that, they're saying on Moreno isn't a penalty. I don't think. I think the keeper's got to come for them. I don't really think that's a penalty. But on the game itself, I don't know, man. It was just.
It's as bad as your internet. The game. Nathan, I'll jump. I'll go to you instead. Obviously, Jeppy's thing's gone out. Obviously, Brandon there fuming with the performance, the setup, the lack of balance. What is it that's making Arsenal so flaccid up front, so static, just so sort of poor?
It's hard to watch at the moment. For me, I think it's the lack of technical profiles in midfield. I mean, growing up, Arsene Wenger football, we always criticised for being too technical and not enough physicality. And I feel like Mikel Arteta and Edu and the club have gone the other way. We've signed Mikel Moreno, who's supposed to be this dual monster, and I've seen all these tacticos talking about how his dual winning is going to be so integral to our play. But I'm looking at him on the ball and I'm seeing him chase his first touch, and I'm looking to see what he can do on the ball. Where's his ability to kind of slow the game down, control it, even the simple things, just keep the ball ticking. And I know it's only been a handful of games and you can never cast judgment so quickly, but from what I have seen so far, I haven't seen, even in the little things, I haven't seen anything to give me encouragement with his on the ball ability. And that for me is kind of the big worry. I mean, when Odegaard is not in the team, there is a clear gulf in our technical ability. A midfield of Mikel Moreno, Declan Rice, and Partey. You've got nobody who would take the ball and run past the player or play passes between the lines. Maybe bar Partey from deep. It's very turgid. It's very stiff. It's very static, and it's definitely a hard watch. And yeah, it's I think a part of it also has to go down to Mikel Arteta. I mean, I've said it last time. I'm going to say it again. I think he's been a bit of a coward. I mean, Trossard has been. We say?
You said part of it has to go down to Arteta. Part, not all of it.
Part of it. Yeah. Part of it has to go down.
Not
to
all
Arteta
of it.
Yeah, of course. No, but again, well, if you want to talk about recruitment, you can play, place more blame at his feet as well. But in regards
why do you think he's been a coward?
Because if you look at Trossard for the last few weeks, he's been absolutely horrendous, right? He's supposed to be one of our more technical players, right? And if you see him, every time he takes a touch in the middle midfield, it seems to just come off his shins and there's about a meter away from the ball. It's horrible to watch. His passing is sloppy, and he hasn't done anything to deserve or warrant a place in this starting 11. And he's playing week in, week out. We've seen him have stinkfest after stinkfest. We've seen him be integral to or be directly responsible for Saliba having that incident against. We saw him have a mistake against City, Bournemouth. We've seen him have poor performances, and he's playing week in, week out. And every time Ethan Wanyere's come on, and I'm one who's not been an advocate for kind of placing all that responsibility at a 17-year-old, but I'm also a keen believer of players playing off merit and not status. And I feel like what you're seeing under Arteta at the moment is he's playing players based on status. For instance, even in the Bournemouth game, rather than take off a Trossard, he'll take off Raheem Sterling because he's the lone player. It's almost like it's almost like a hierarchy. He treats everything based on he makes his decision based off this hierarchy. And I don't think that's how these players or a team should be managed. It should be all based on merit and what's best for the team. And despite that, I think, what was it? He stayed on to the 80th minute. What did Trossard do that game? What have we seen from Trossard in the last few weeks that says to us, or even over the last 18 months, when Trossard starts, he is not the same player.
Do you know? I'm gonna run back to Giuseppe because Giuseppe's at a party and he wants to get back to it. I just want to say on that quickly as well. What I find interesting is that there's lots of different players that are out of form. Some play, and if you think about the spectrum of Arsenal fans, and you go right to the extreme of Arteta out, never liked him, right through to if they caught Arteta in bed with their wife, they'd defend him. Like those two groups, those two ends, right? It's like players that they both love, all playing badly. Does that make sense? It's not just like one, and it's kind of almost like the range of players playing poorly, the imbalance. For me, it's why I'm looking more at the manager than I am individuals, because I've seen these players play much better football. I don't see how it's not just like one person's fallen off. It's, Martinelli's out of form. Trossard's out of form. The midfield's come in and it looks imbalanced, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe it's just bad luck, but I feel like it's more about the system and what he's asking them to do this year.